Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good, thanks. Good. Welcome to BBHC Podcast, episode 5.
So 5 already.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm kicking along.
Yes. And today we're talking about how BBHC is changing the world.
Yeah.
But why do you think the world needs changing?
Well, I mean, you look around you and you find there's obesity, a lot of obesity, and it's getting worse. It used to kind of just be the state. They were like the founders of the obesity. And, with their fast food and some of their fast food outlets, which are just basically poisoning the endocrine system. And it's spread across the world, as their fast food outlets spread across the world and the concept caught on.
Mm.
And then, you've got the sugar industry that also, contributes to that. And then, these guys with their marketing, they just change people's ideas on what is the right way to eat. And people started to think that low fat, was the way to eat. And then that's high sugar, and that causes obesity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then there's also, especially with the digital age and the electronic age, it's like way more stressful than it was 30, 40 years ago. When people didn't carry cell phones, they didn't have email, you wait like 3 weeks for a letter. So the communication was slower, so the pace of life was slower.
Good old days.
The good old days when the pace of life was slower. But it was slower, and now, stress is a big thing. It's like everything has to be driven, which is not a bad thing. But it's people can't stay organized enough to stay that driven. And it causes stress, and then they start maybe committing little transgressions because they're under stress, and that makes the stress worse. And and then.
But even it affects the way they eat, because if they're under stress, they don't have time to cook. So they just quickly go out and buy some junk food.
That's true.
Or it just makes you have no time to cook a proper meal or things like that.
And the thing is with stress as well, it ups your cortisol levels, which ups your insulin levels, which makes you hungry.
Yeah.
So now you're hungry, and you don't have time to cook. You only have time to stop at a burger place or pizza place. And get something quick, or order online or something like that.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like when I was a kid, if someone got cancer, it was like a big thing.
Yeah.
It still is a big thing, but then it was like a big and unusual thing.
Yeah.
Like someone got cancer, you hardly ever heard about it. I don't think I knew anyone who had cancer until I was like in my late teens, maybe early 20s.
Yeah.
And then it just became more and more and more and more, And it's as the Western diet degrades, it's like this dwindling spiral, and eventually they're even talking about doing like 3D food now, like a 3D printer. It's like, I will not eat that, If you want to get cancer, eat that. And then also, the sleep patterns that have changed. People
are online all the time.
Yeah, they're online. And they're watching
reels.
They're watching.
It's like 3 hours have gone past and you're not sleeping yet.
Yeah. And then also all that blue light from the screen, they do have blue light filters now, but it still stops you from sleeping. And then they put their phone on charge next to their bed, and then, the electromagnetic waves keep them awake or disrupt their sleep patterns, So people are not sleeping, which pushes up cortisol levels, which pushes up insulin levels, which makes people diabetic. So all of these factors, like added up, create a society where people are dulled down, and their diet dulls them down even more. Your carbohydrates. When you have too much carbohydrates and your insulin levels are too high for too long, you get like a kind of diabetes in your brain. That gives you this brain fog. So people are trying to do their jobs because they under stress. To get their jobs done, but they can't think straight. And they can't move around. It's uncomfortable for them because they're overweight. So the world needs to change, and you can get back to what it was like in the 70s, when people were eating more or less okay, and people were slim, and people were healthy. I remember as a kid in the 70s, but our food that we would get, it was a wholesome meal. Every night, a home cooked wholesome meal.
exactly. Going out for dinner or taking takeaways is like once a month special event.
That was like, your dad got bonus or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think even in South Africa, we were luckier than most countries because we were isolated from the rest of the world, which was actually a good thing. Like we weren't exposed to porn, we weren't exposed to drugs, we weren't exposed to fast food. We had nothing like that in South Africa. So it was like quite a wholesome way of life back then. And South Africans were generally healthy. Yeah. So how are we going to change the world?
Well, I mean, not going to. We are already changing the world. I mean, so you've looked at all these different things that it's not just about weight. It's about a whole lot more. And that's what we're doing. We're not just helping someone lose weight and gaining his self-confidence back type of thing, and getting his relationship back on track.
Yeah.
Or
getting revenge on his ex. With he or she's all slim now.
Yeah.
And in the gym.
Yes.
The little tight tushy showing off to everybody.
Yeah, so not just that, we're also affecting other areas of life. Like we're helping couples have babies.
Yeah.
We're helping those babies grow up without nappy rash, without colic, with sleeping through all the way just because
Minimal
of the
crying.
way they eat, or their mom breastfeeding them and the way she's eating, so it's already affecting the family in that way, so it's not just for you personally. It affects lots of things. Women get their pre-pregnancy bodies back, and so they are healthier and they can go back to work quickly and all things like that.
Their menstrual cycle becomes a lot easier and less severe. All the emotional stuff that goes around that becomes less severe.
Exactly.
In actual fact, sometimes it's not even like I've even noticed with some of the ladies that we do on this program, like the first month, their menstrual cycle is already a lot easier. Like the first month on the program.
Yeah.
It's like that's how far. As soon as you stop eating the junk that is fed to the population of Earth, it's like things almost immediately come out. It's amazing how the human body can repair it.
Yeah. And then, of course, it moves out even further to like the workplace. I had a client who is a salesman, and he just couldn't do his job properly anymore because he used to get irritated with the public.
And people don't buy.
Yeah, when people don't buy.
Buy my product!
And he wasn't performing well, wasn't reaching his quotas. And, he was on the program for not even a month, and he calmed down.
Yeah.
No more stress, no more anxiety, and his mood changed. So he could deal with the public better, and he started selling left, right, and center. And so
I remember he was always telling you, like he would let you know every time he had a good sale.
Yes, and I mean it could have gone the wrong way. He could have lost his job,
Yeah.
And he went on our program, and now he's like,
Best
highest ever.
around.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I've had guys who've been on chronic medication. Guys who've been on medication for like 20 years, like blood pressure medication, diabetes medication. Cholesterol medication, which is like, I hate to call it medication. Anyway, so these guys go along, and then they like sometimes within a week, he's already looking at, I think I can get off this stuff. Cut it down. I mean, I never tell him.
No, he goes for his checkup with the doctor, and the doctor is like, "What are you doing? Your blood
Why
pressure."
are your numbers in range? This is not good for my payments on my Mercedes.
Yeah.
That's life changing.
Yeah.
Because now he doesn't have to be around a pharmacy all the time to get his meds. When it comes to that time of the month where he's got to get his meds, he doesn't go, "Oh, I hope they have it." And it's like it's actually imagine taking pills every day and then not having to take them every day.
Yeah.
How much freedom it gives.
Yeah. And also for the family, they don't have to worry about, is my father going to be alive in the next 2 years, or
For
the
himself
mother.
worrying about seeing his grandkids grow up.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
I like how it's not just the weight loss. I mean, people lose weight and they start looking good again. And they feel confident, and they start wearing nice clothes again, and maybe put some makeup on.
Yeah. And you had another client who
he was. I know you're talking about that guy in Europe.
We can, yes.
Oh, sorry. Carry on. Which one were you going to say?
No, it's fine. Carry on.
So I had that client who was in Europe, and he basically, his business had withered down to like almost nothing because he couldn't think anymore. He had brain fog. He had this like terrible brain fog, which is caused by carbohydrates and sugar. And he used to earn like thousands of dollars, like a day, and he couldn't sit in front of his computer for more than 5 minutes at a time. And I remember he sent me a WhatsApp one day, and he was like, I just realized I've sat here all day in front of my computer, and I can actually get my business back online.
Wow.
Because his brain fog was gone, and he'd been trying for 10 years to get rid of his brain fog. And he'd given up on it. He was like, "This is my life now." So I like it.
And it was like simple for us.
I was like, when I saw it, I was 100% sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, you were going to ask me.
No, I was saying you had another client, a lady who was working and didn't really like what she was doing, and after the program she had so much more self-confidence that she wanted to open up another business, and where she could do something that she loved doing, where she was helping people, and
it was a new life for her.
Yeah,
exactly. And she was before the program, she was in a dark place, and she's such a nice lady, and before the program she was in such a dark place, and I kind of got her through the first bit, and I could see like every day how she was improving, not just with her weight loss, but just emotionally, like her true character was starting to come out more and more every day. Such a nice lady. But I mean that was something that she would never have thought of, that she just continued on with a normal life.
And now she's out there helping other people.
I think what people don't realize is your body, it plays a very big role in how you feel.
Yes.
That people don't realize that. They think that I'm just grumpy, and that's not the case.
Or emotionally, I'm not doing well.
It's
actually your body affecting your mood. And that's why you're not doing well emotionally. Why you're depressed.
With pain in your back. Or you can't sleep. Like you sleep 2 hours a night. Imagine trying to be happy and joyful around people. You'd be a misery to be around.
And what about sportsmen? I mean,
even myself. I've always been a sportsman. I love sport and I love being competitive. And before I got onto this, I mean, it wasn't necessarily this program, but it was the same format, the same platform. And I got onto it, and I was part of a cycling club, which is very tricky. And if you don't ride well, you're not part of the group.
Oh, I know them very well.
Exactly.
I'm not in the.
Like you've got to be part of the social club, and that's fine. They can have that, and. So I was always getting left behind, and that's totally not my that's totally not in my DNA. And I got onto this way of eating, and then I just started getting faster and faster, and eventually I started leaving them behind, and then that made it even worse. I was not even part of it even more then. But it was it's quite funny because I find it's with my sport. I'm also quite emotionally stable. So I can allow people around me to have their glory, whereas before I was just very competitive and very aggressive. Now I'm like, I'll even let someone beat me just to make me feel better. And I never used to be like that. I would be like, no, I'm going to annihilate the opposition. Maybe I'm just getting older. I don't know.
But then you also had the client who had an op because of the downhill racing that he was doing, and then with the program he was able to get healed faster.
His healing process was a lot faster. He snapped Achilles tendon. And he just started getting faster. Like his healing was getting faster and faster.
Yeah, because the program handles inflammation and,
It's the right food.
that
If you think about how the body works and cells, so cells die and then new ones grow, and those new ones grow from what you put in your mouth. You know? It's not. They don't just grow out of nothing. They grow out of what you put in. If you're putting fast food junk in your mouth, that's what your cells are going to grow from.
Yeah.
So if you're putting like leafy green vegetables in and enough protein, electrolytes, can you imagine the difference? And that's why, even 10 years later, since I started to try that, I still feel the benefit. I still feel better every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like it just gets better and better and better. I genuinely feel like I'm, let's be real, like 50 years old. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
And I don't just feel like that in my head. I feel like that physically.
Yeah, you can do the stuff that 30-year-olds do, and maybe even better some of them. So basically, that's how how we're changing the world, because our program has a wider sphere of influence than just losing weight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
the thing
it's exciting.
It is exciting, and I read something the other day where someone said, one person can actually change the entire world. And it's true, and it can be for good or for bad. Hitler tried to change the entire world and he almost did.
Yeah.
But then you get a guy like Mahatma Gandhi who tried to change the entire world and he did a lot of good. And you get other people who did that too. Some good people. And there's no reason why you can't contribute to that. Like there's a lot of people trying to change the world for the better, and good people. And we've always been involved in helping other people, not just with this, but with other activities as well. So we like doing that. The benefits personally for helping your fellow man. And this is why I love doing, like sometimes when I interview a client and I do an assessment on a client, and then they go, I'll do it next month, and I'm like, don't do that, man. I know I will help you. I know I will help you, and you'll be grateful, if you start doing it now.
Yeah, and then when they do it, and they start telling you the wins that they're having, you're like, it's like your child getting an award at school or something. You feel so proud of them doing so well.
Yeah, all of them, and it's like all of them go through a patch where you've got to help them through it, and then they pop out the other side, and then it's just like plain sailing for these guys, and they, and they just, their lives just improve, everything improves, Like, let's say you save someone's marriage because of this, and that has been done, and it's probably one of the major reasons for marriage breakup. It's probably a bad diet. Part of other things too. But a bad diet precipitates. It puts a platform there for things to go wrong. The person's grumpy all the time, and he is not thinking straight because he has brain fog. And
feels bad about himself.
He feels bad about himself. Goes out and has an affair. And then that gets worse. That's just another rabbit hole. So diet to me is one of the major factors in helping mankind to recover from the state that he's in. Not just, you talk to a lot of people, especially our age, and they say how, ethics and morals have declined over the years. But with that, people have grown bigger, so it's like, is there a connection there somehow?
Absolutely. So I'm excited for us to change the world.
And what's the next episode going to be?
Well, it's going to be about a new program that we're launching.
Oh, yeah.
But we're not saying anything more than that.
No.
So you better subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss the next episode. And
like our Facebook page, follow our Facebook page, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of those in.
And if you want to have your life change and not just lose weight, but different aspects of your life, your family, your relationship, or you want to have kids or anything like that, contact us and we can help you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.